Hello, I'm Hingers, and welcome to Good Game Well Played, the ABC's only weekly esports show recorded in this studio. Let's start with the news. The competitive Dota 2 world has been flung into its annual post-TI chaos following the big tournament. Curtis AUI 2000 Ling has been dropped by EG despite EG winning the international a bit over a week ago. After AUI tweeted out the news, he then went looking for confirmation on Twitter, before the rumour was confirmed by EG's Dota 2 manager Charlie Yang, who said, "EG is deeply grateful to Curtis for what he has helped contribute, and will continue to support him in whatever he decides to do and wherever he decides to go." Yang also confirmed that Artur Artizi Babev would be replacing AUI in the Evil Geniuses lineup as mid laner. Artizi played with EG throughout 2014, however, has been playing with Team Secret since January of this year. According to a Facebook post, Team Secret are also losing Ludwig Zai Wahlberg, who is stepping away from full-time pro gaming in order to finish his studies in Sweden. Meanwhile, Cloud9's Dota 2 squad has disbanded after placing top 12 at the International. The team's founder, Jack Etienne, took to Twitter to thank the players and confirmed that yes, Cloud9 will remain in Dota 2. And in Sweden, 3 high schools have begun to add esports classes for budding gamers. The weekly classes in games like Dota 2 and Counter-Strike are not compulsory, and will be akin to traditional sports classes with regional tournaments, and as Swedish website Aftonbladet reports, they will get tracksuits. It's one of my big regrets of my high school career that StarCraft was not offered as a school sport, and instead I had to play water polo. Incidentally, my alma mater, Caringbah High School, won the state water polo championship when I was in the team. However, this guy spent exactly 0 game time minutes in the pool the entire season. Moving on, ESL have announced more details of their drug testing regime ahead of their Cologne meetup at the end of August. In a statement released on the CSGO subreddit, the esports company said they would be randomly saliva testing players for all NADA and WADA prohibited substances, and have asked players with legitimate prescriptions to disclose their necessary medication as soon as possible. The company has also outlined their marijuana policy, saying, "Marijuana is on the list of prohibited substances for during the competition. This means that recreational use of it outside before the event days will not be punished. Using it during the tournament from the start of the first day until the end of the last day of competition is strictly prohibited." Punishments for guilty players include potential deductions in prize money and tournament points, as well as a possible 2-year ban from all ESL events. It'll be interesting to see if some players make the decision to flaunt the rules anyway and risk the prize money deduction. Alright, and now on to your questions, comments and queries. First up, James on Facebook writes, "Esports is a terrible thing to encourage because it makes kids want to play more video games and not go out and play real sports." James. Look, here at Good Game, we're obviously very into gaming, and you can tell by my weedy frame and lack of sculpted abs that I'm no past, present, or future Olympian. But that's not because of gaming or esports. It's not like if competitive gaming didn't exist, I'd be some sort of buff dude just sort of rugbying around the place with all my muscles and things. I'm the way I am for a multitude of non-gaming related reasons. Of course, physical exercise and a healthy lifestyle are great things, but they're not mutually exclusive with video games and esports, And there's actually more and more research coming out now supporting claims that general physical fitness helps your cognitive function and reaction time, making you a better gamer. Alright, next up, Reese asks, "Thoughts on AUI 2000 getting kicked from EG less than 2 weeks after winning TI5? Well, Reese, obviously I feel for the poor guy. It's not like he was transferred out of EG to another team, or even that he was particularly underperforming in TI. In fact, some Chinese players are coming out now and saying that AUI was the reason EG won the international, because they felt they had to draft specifically to lock him out of the games, which meant that Samael was then able to draft more of his own first preference picks. There's always stuff going on behind the scenes that we'll never find out or know about, but obviously, Arteezy has a history with EG, and he's a hugely popular megastar, so I can see why EG re-signed him. Anyway, I feel like the post-TI reshuffle that happens every year is just part of the Dota 2 ecosystem now. And the concern is long-term, it's hard to feel super invested in teams if annually they can completely change their lineups, because compared with traditional sports, MOBA teams are much smaller, so each lineup change is proportionally much more significant. Okay, ICO Harper on Twitter asks, "Do you feel that with inclusions of games like Rocket League, esports will seem less overwhelming to get involved with?" Rocket League is great and super simple, so it's easy for people like my dad to understand, whereas trying to explain to my dad a greedy 3-hatch before pool build order loss to a, 1 base 10 gate or something, there is no chance of that happening. The big thing with esports now is that people tend to get into watching games they already play. A lot of people see watching esports as a way to improve their own play because they're watching the best plays in the world. So games like Rocket League, which don't require a lot of background knowledge and understanding of build orders, of class types, or knowing every single ability that each of the 5 million champions has in their back pocket, will undoubtedly make esports less overwhelming. Also, like cars doing flips. Finally, Mitchell on Facebook asks, I'd like to know if you guys at Good Game think Australians have a decent shot at doing well at esports? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Considering every event is usually so far away overseas. Will we need more Australia-based events to compete? Question mark, question mark, question mark. There are a lot of struggles Australians in esports have compared to our competitors in North America, Asia and Europe, but the challenges can be different from game to game. For example, a game like StarCraft, where reaction speed, APM and physical mechanics are super important, our physical distance from places like Korea, combined with our relatively slow internet, can make it kind of difficult for people to break into the global scene. In fact, some players have physically moved cities just to be closer to the NBN. Similarly, in MOBAs, where the metagame is so complex and fast-changing, even if we did solve the lag issues, the Australian scene can be too small on a global scale in games like League of Legends and Dota 2 to effectively train without moving overseas or joining an international team. There are games like Pokemon and Hearthstone where lag isn't an issue at all, and because of the 24/7 nature of streaming, Australia could really produce some world-class talent easily. To your point about Australian-based events, that won't be particularly helpful unless we are able to attract world-class talent to the events. But we are improving. Australia's CSGO teams have recently been ranked in the top 10 in the world by some commentators, and with more Australians like Pig going into commentary, the scene will expand. So yes, it's possible long-term.
Yeah, of course.
All right, that is it for this week. But one last thing. I have something to plug. Well, we have something to plug. On the 5th of September, Good Game Live is happening at the Enmore Theatre in Sydney. So if you're there or in the surrounding area, you should come by and check out myself and Nick Boy and Barjo and Hex and Goose, as we'll be joining Tripod on stage, as well as some other fancy guests, entertaining you live with all the kind of video game trivia that you crave.
Hope to see you there.
Tune into Pocket today to see Nick Boy play a terrifying clown in Dropsy.
This feels significant. This is a metaphor. He's just gonna walk forever. No, he's gonna hit a porta potty. And he's gonna go in there and he's gonna find...
And Good Game next week to see if everybody really has gone to the rapture.
Well, I suppose from that we can assume that they really are serious about this whole quarantine thing.
Stay safe, Good Game well played. Hingers out!